What is up, everybody? My name is James DeFiore, and this is Casual Friday. It is Casual Friday. And by the way, and I know that most of you probably know this if you're watching at all, I have not done this in about 3 months. The scenery has temporarily changed. I will not get into why. I am just really happy that I can actually do this again and put on some shows. Like, you know what it feels like? It honestly feels like I have been relegated back, and this is actually a good thing, to rookie status, where I am no longer really a podcast veteran anymore. It's kind of weird. It's not really like riding a bike. It is in a sense, but you know how if you don't ride a bike for 20 years, you can't do that really cool skid stop. It takes you a couple tries. I think it's going to be a little bit like that. Life has taken such a weird turn for me over the last 6 months. And it's so interesting that I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about where I am right now, though. I'm at my mom's. Okay. Now, bear with me here for a second. I don't live with my mom per se, but I am here right now due to a bunch of unforeseen circumstances. It's not financial. Okay. I'm going to tell you everything that it isn't instead of try to figure out how to dance around what it is. But it's not financial. It's really interesting when you don't have to live with your mom and you live with your mom, because it becomes a way to sort of remember all the reasons why you don't want to live with your parents when you're 47 years old. And by the way, it has nothing to do with her. It has all to do with me. I have these old reflexes when I walk around like I'm supposed to be apologizing for something, even though I'm doing cool shit like buying Chinese food, you know, getting her favorite drink and her favorite snack because she really likes that. But it is a little daunting to realize that when you are 47 and you want to be around your kids, that there is a temporary situation that's thrust upon you, and you kind of got to laugh at it. And you got to, I think what the best thing to do is to try to look for that silver lining. And by the way, this is what it looks like when you're burning time and stalling for your co-host to arrive. That co-host being Douglas Connors, because he's just not here yet. And my kids are now calling, and I'm going to put on speakerphone. Hello? Well, wait. Wait. Casper? Who's this? Is this Casper or Lizzie? I can't hear you.
Lizzie.
Hi, baby girl. How are you?
Good.
Did you know that you're on a podcast right now?
I am?
You are, baby. You want to know why?
What?
Because you didn't answer the phone when Daddy called you earlier. Daddy's sad now. You made Daddy sad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sad. But you are on a podcast, baby girl, so everyone can hear your cute voice. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your day at school today?
Good.
Good. Did you do anything fun?
Yeah.
What did you do that was fun, baby?
I did a turtle game and we had turtles and we walk and it's the summertime and we go trying to find seeds.
Oh. Well, that sounds like fun. Did you find any?
We didn't find any and we needed but I think we found soy and we made us a house.
Oh. That's good. You're a pretty good house builder. Did the house, did it have any windows? Was it that kind of house?
No, but we just started making it when the last recess was over.
Oh, okay. I think is tomorrow going to be oh no, tomorrow's Saturday. So is that going to be ready for you to continue to work on Monday, do you think? Or do you think the weather will get it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you like being on a podcast, baby?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe so.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, you're a poet now. Are you a rapper? Rap for me, baby.
You don't even know how I rap yet.
What do you mean? I don't. I'm the best rapper you know. What are you talking about?
You don't even know how I rap yet.
Well, you haven't shown me your skills yet. And by the way, I'm a tough audience.
Okay.
Okay. Is Casper beside you? Because I got to go because I'm on my podcast. I wanted to tell you guys that I love you and good night.
I love you too. Kissy kiss.
Kissy kiss, baby girl. Is Casper there too?
No.
Where's Casper?
He's with mommy.
Okay. Is he mad at daddy?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, can I talk to Casper for a second just to say hello?
Yeah.
Okay. I love you, baby.
I love you too.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Okay. This is usually where she carries me like a baby to Casper. Are you carrying me like a baby?
Oh, damn you. Casper. Hi, Daddy.
Hi, baby. Hi, son. I just wanted to say hi and good night. Okay?
Okay.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
My son's not a phone guy. Now that my co-host is taking a while to get here, I'm going to introduce somebody who's a very, 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 very old friend of mine. Not that he's old, but he's a person that I've known for about 25 years. He is an actor, acting coach, a whole bunch of things. I'm not really sure what he's doing now, but we will find out because his name is Troy Skog. Troy, how are you, buddy?
James, I am well. Thank you. Great to see you. Great to see you.
I'm sorry about the delay. I have to take that call. If I don't take that call,
that was beautiful to witness. Thank you for allowing me to experience that.
Oh, well, you're
Beautiful.
welcome. You're grateful. I know. I can tell. So where are you coming? Where are you hailing from? You're in the middle of that like cold front, aren't you?
Yeah. It's nippy here. I'm in the South Caribou right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It is going up to number 1 from Hope. Go up to Cache Creek. Number 1 then turns into 97. Keep going north to the town called Clinton. And then go west about an hour and change towards the Fraser Valley Canyon. And we are here.
Uh-huh. You're all fuzzy. Can you go in and come? Can you go out and come back in? Because you're all fuzzy. Your audio's fuzzy.
My audio's fuzzy.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm getting shortwave
the
radio.
host unmuted your mic.
No, yeah, I did. But go out and come back in. Here, I'll help you. Watch this. Just click the link again. Remove guest. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys, but I don't know if that was cute or annoying. You know what the funny thing is? I don't like talking to kids on phone. My kids is okay. But whenever anybody else is like, do you want to talk to my son? I'm always like, no, I don't. In fact, I don't think you should ever ask me to do that again. That's better.
Maybe I should just hold it. Is that better?
That's probably better, yeah.
Okay.
You started talking with your hands, and then all of a sudden, it went fuzzy.
Wind gusts.
I've told people about you on this podcast before about the acting class
Well,
that I took. Give your background because I want you to talk. I want you to introduce yourself, like where you were when I met you. I met you in the year 2000, I believe.
2000.
That's another Eugene connection. Eugene, Dr. Draw, the famous violinist.
Right. Eugene.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll ask questions about Eugene and stuff later, but yeah. 2000 we met. That's when I just got back from New York. I was teaching down in New York, and I was working with Chris on our reality series idea.
Yeah. Star Maker
TV. Yeah, that's right.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
They copied that so many times, didn't they?
Yes. Let me know if I go in and out again.
I will.
Okay, great.
You look great, buddy.
Hey, pal. Thank you. Hey, funny what a new kidney will do, eh?
You got one?
Yeah, like 2 years ago now.
Oh my God! Did I know that already?
Yeah, I know. We live in gaps, you and I, but they're always brilliant.
I know.
Always brilliant.
So, just in case you guys forget, Troy did this acting class, and it was like 4 classes, I think, something like that, 4 maybe 5 classes, and the very first thing that you did was there was like maybe I don't know what was there 8 to 10 of us or something like that,
Yeah, probably.
and
Yeah.
and because I knew you, I felt that I was going to be spared this the success rate that you had on making people cry by just having them go up to the front of the class and being like, I can't remember, you said something, you'd be like, think of something that impacted you more than anything, and then just tell us about it. And one by one, every last one of the people that walked up, it would be like this. It was when my mother died. Like they all started crying, and I'm sitting there like I am completely immune to this. This is not. I felt like I honestly felt like I was being cheated in a sense because I wanted to experience finding my truth, but I just like I was so cynical. I was like, but I know you, and now I know what you're asking about. Ah, fuck it,
James, the king
James, your
of
turn.
cynicism takes the chair.
I know. That's right. That's right. The class clown is now going up, so I go up. And you're like, and you looked at me, and I don't remember what you said, but it wasn't like what you said to other people. It was just so like, go ahead. Like it was just, just go ahead. And I couldn't even get my first syllable out, and the fucking chocolate or the peanut butter throat started to happen, and I was just like, how the fuck did you do that? How the fuck do you do that? Like, because I know that's a big important thing when you used to teach about getting actors to just like be themselves by finding a piece of themselves that maybe they never look at.
Yeah, definitely. Vulnerability is our greatest strength as an actor and in life, right? Being truthful and honest with what we feel and having the, more than anything, having the safe environment where you can, choke on peanut butter before you get a word out. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's so much enjoyment for me to have someone be so open and vulnerable and feel safe in a classroom, right? Or with me, whatever it is. So, and also once the first person trusts and opens up, then that just allows everyone to just go, well, this is totally safe, right?
Yeah.
We can,
you once told me, you once told me you've been in a bunch of movies. You've been in, I know you had a bad luck in some movies that you were in because you would have like a very key character and then they would just cut it for some reason.
I was king of the cutting room floor, I swear it, but I'm sure that happens lots, right? Got to lose the scene. Unfortunately, it was your scene. But yeah, my stuff on TV and film, aside from B sci-fi, was all, principal roles, like 1 or 2 day shoot kind of thing, 1 or 2 scenes. So, but yeah, but I that was just part of the acting for me, I love theater, loved theater.
Did you do a lot of theater in your younger days? Yeah.
Well, I went to theater school, right? I went to theater school at UBC. I got some kick-ass roles as a young actor in theater school. Like, I got a chance to play Hamlet at theater school. I played a probably late 40s Eddie Carboni from View from the Bridge when I was 24.
Oh, nice.
And,
did you nail the accent?
I managed to pull it off, buddy. So I just loved it. And then when I was in Toronto, when I hadn't met you. That was the first time I was there. I hadn't met you. I went to do a production of Faust with a good friend, Hans Engel. Yeah, you heard me talk about Hans, right?
Yeah. I remember the name. Yeah.
You remind me so much of Hans.
He was in love with you, wasn't he?
Well, I was in love with him, so if he was in love with me, that was fine too. Not in
it was mutual.
Yeah, it was mutual. It was mutual love, big love. And then I needed a job right after I'd done the play, so I got a part-time acting coach job at a modeling agency, and that's sort of where all the teaching started. I thought, well, I'm kind of freshly out of acting school myself. What do I have to teach? But it became a hell of a learning process, man. Yeah.
You once told me that you liked it better.
I do.
Yeah.
I love teaching everything better than. Well, I love doing too, but I love teaching more so. I do everything. Right now it's with horses. Love teaching people how to work with horses.
Oh, that's right. You've been doing that for a long time.
Well, on and off. Yeah. We used to breed.
That's a leftover from your previous relationship with that woman that hates my fucking guts.
That's right. That was previous times. Previous chapters.
I could feel her hatred.
2000, buddy. A lot of chapters since 2000.
Well, that was 2000. So just in case, well, no one knows. So one day I was, it was after I had a bad breakup. All my stories start off like that. All my stories where I end up in different countries or provinces start with a breakup. Right? But I had a bad breakup, and I was watching the Greatest Canadian Contest. Remember CBC did that? It was like 2005. Maybe 2005. And what's his face won? I don't remember his name. The godfather of our healthcare, Tommy Douglas, right?
Oh, right.
Tommy Douglas won. So I started Googling Tommy Douglas, and I'm like, oh, where's Tommy Douglas from? Oh, he's from Weyburn, Saskatchewan. Okay, that's where he spent a lot of his time. So I was like, oh, what's Weyburn like? So I Googled Weyburn. I found an ad for a reporter. And I was like, I'm going to apply. So I applied. I got the interview. I told you about it. And you're like, James, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, no, why? You're like, I live in Weyburn, Saskatchewan. I was just like, perfect. Right? So I hop up on the plane. I literally like get you to get me an apartment in Weyburn or whatever. I hop on the plane and I go there and it dawns on me. I don't have the job yet. Right? I'm just like, I'm moving in, I'm getting apartments, woo, and I don't even have the job yet. So I look at you, and I don't know if I told you or not, or if I was just like, I'm just not going to tell him and hope I get the job, right? So then I went and I got the job somehow, and they hated me. And then I worked as a bartender at the bar that you managed, and I drank all the free beer I could and got fired. You know, and then I moved back to Toronto and sort of lived as the guy on the couch for a few years or whatever. That was a bad time.
Buddy, I love that you're sharing this chapter of your life with your audience if you hadn't already. I'm so glad.
I may have. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, James. Brilliant.
It's so funny. Like I don't have anywhere to hide from my own past.
Right.
And I'm pretty open about it. Like, I'm not going to talk about what I'm going through right now because there's legal considerations, and so I don't want to like fuck it up, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
In case living at my mom's house didn't tip you guys off, I have legal considerations to consider. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, no, I learned a long time ago that it's so much easier. Like, I would talk about basically anything that you and I did. Yeah. In fact, I will talk about one. Okay. And hold on, but the reason why is because there's no shame in like knowing what your mistakes are. I'd have a lot more shame if I said this, and then I worked at a bar that you manage. That was pretty good. No, it wasn't. I fucking drank all this free beer one night and then got fired. Like, it was awful. But you know, it happened, right? But I don't know if you remember this. So in Toronto, remember I lived on Spadina Circle.
Yeah.
And you were over, and I think we were walking with Nellie at the time, but we were on the corner of Spadina and College on the northeast corner, right near the comfort zone.
Okay. Yeah.
And across the street, so if we're walking from east to west, still on the north side, we saw like two guys, like they were basically Asian gangsters, beating up somebody. And they had the chain. Right. Yeah. And they were like, and they were cornering this guy. And you and I don't know what we were like. It was weird. I followed your lead. It wasn't, my bravery was not automatic. Yours was reflexive.
Great story.
Yours was reflexive. I looked at you, you looked at me, and you're like, let's do it. And I was just like, I don't know what, but okay. And I just followed you, and we ran, and we both jumped into the scene like ninjas, like in between the gangsters and this guy they were beating up. Yes. And I just sort of, I didn't know what to do. So I look at you again to lead me. And you just go like this to the guy. You're like, stop it. And he like, his chain just kind of went limp, and he kind of like looked dejected. Like you just took away his football, and he was like,
took away his toy.
And he walked away. And I looked at you, and I'm like, This is like actors, like teacher shit. This is you just pulled some like weird. You just made that guy find his truth.
Yeah, something went off.
It's so funny. But
James.
but that was but you have that reflex. You have that, like, you know, you're not like a jiu-jitsu fighter or anything like that, like, or an MMA guy, but you have this sort of presence where like all you had to do was be like enough. And the guy was like, okay. You know?
My childhood sport was judo, though.
Oh, what's it? Oh,
it was. We got to give some kudos to judo here.
Yeah. Did you get your orange belt? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun. We've had a lot of crazy times. We've had a lot of weird, like,
great times, James. Great times, man. The whole eat the beat thing, that was great.
Yeah, when you left my 12-year-old nephew alone in a sex bar.
Well, mistakes do happen.
The House of Props, which, by the way, doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they tore it down for condos in Corktown. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, Troy was instrumental behind this thing I did called Eat the Beat, where I put a bunch of hip hop MCs in front of a screen, and that shot off graphics, and the MCs had to freestyle based on the shit they saw on the screen, and they battled and stuff. And yeah,
again, James, I have to say this: I bow to that because that was brilliant. There was Star Maker, there was Eat the Beat. Both of them ended up pooping the can. So
yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, right. But hey, great ideas and kudos to that. You, me, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
I wish George Vale had a lot to do with that.
George Vale, that's right.
Yeah. George Vale is like he's like the personal videographer for the Rolling Stones when they come to Toronto.
Hey, speaking of which, how's Nigel doing?
What's that?
How's Nigel doing? You guys are still close, right?
Nigel's doing good. He's part of a sort of a throwback hip hop group now called the Magnificent Six.
Right on.
And so he's still doing shit. Unfortunately, Sheldon passed away. I don't know if I told you that, but Sheldon from Pocket Dwellers, the DJ.
Yeah. Oh no.
He was like my. I've known him since I was like 16. He was like the first guy that I ever spit bars over his beats at Nigel's mom's house. Yeah, it was pretty sudden. Like he had pancreatic cancer, and then from the time that he told everyone to the time that he died was like maybe 3 or 4 months or something like that.
Wow.
I didn't know until we had like an hour and a half long conversation, and I'm told that he did that with a bunch of his friends, where he didn't want to talk about how sick he was. But it was rare for first of all, for Sheldon and I to talk on the phone wasn't really normal, but but when we did, he kept me on for about 90 minutes, and I realized then afterward that was his goodbye conversation kind of thing, right? So, which was nice. I thought that was very classy or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone's got their own way, I guess, of dealing with their own death, but I like the way that he handled it. He didn't want everyone to be like, oh fuck, I can't believe this, man. Is there anything I can do? Like, he didn't want any of that shit. He wanted a real conversation, So that was dope.
That's real dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Good man. Rest his soul.
So you're in the Caribou country. Where is that? Like, I don't even know what province you're in.
In BC.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time, James.
I know. How far north are you?
From Vancouver
to
Cabin Doorstep is 6 hours.
Oh wow! Is that because you have to drive around mountains and stuff like that?
No. Essentially, you're on the highway the whole time. It's an hour off grid road, so we're kind of off grid here. Off grid community, buddy.
Wow. Yeah, I lived in Bella Coola for a little stint way back in the day.
Nice. Bella Coola is nice. I haven't been there, but everything I've heard is
beautiful.
Good reports.
Let's talk about your cutting room floor career. That'll be fun.
Not a whole lot to talk about there.
Well, the Owning Mahoney one is my favorite because you're in so many scenes where you're like, and it's like, there's Troy. And you tell us about that story because it was you had a good time. Yeah, you had a good time shooting that.
Oh yeah. It was a day shoot. Got to meet John Hurt, which was great. Yeah. Great dude. Met buddy there, Philip Seymour.
Yep, Philip Seymour
But he
Hoffman.
was busy smoking and thinking, didn't want to
Yeah.
talk to anyone. All good.
He's a method actor, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he was a great method actor.
Wasn't
Whatever
he always
technique
but
he
he was
used,
always
it
in
was
character even
brilliant.
when the cameras were off, right?
Yeah, and whatever
Yeah.
technique he used, he was brilliant. Yeah, so there's a cutting room floor. There's been a lot of cutting room floors, just stuff I've done even recently, even though I'm not doing it anymore.
You're a good actor though. You were in the Charlize Theron movie. Which one was that?
Oh yeah, there was some more cutting room floor there. That was
Monster?
No.
No.
What the hell was it, James?
You were right at the beginning. You were in jail. You were her brother in jail.
Yeah, no, I was her boyfriend.
Oh, her boyfriend. Okay.
Yeah. What the hell was it? It might come.
Yeah.
There's so much I attached to it.
I can't believe you didn't make it as an actor.
Yeah. I can't remember what I did.
Charlize Theron. If you've done one, you've done them all. Fuck it. Change your name to Midge. Start smoking.
Yeah. But no, the teaching is where it became the most fun. Definitely.
Yeah.
Although I got back on stage a couple years ago in Vancouver after 20 years off the stage. Had a great time. Had a great time.
What were you doing there?
I played a older version of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
Yeah.
The failed suicide Romeo? Like did he
the failed suicide. They're old, they've lived, and now they're dying. So it's old people dealing with dying. It's a really good play. Yeah.
Is it a comedy?
Yes. A tender thing, it's called. Yeah. So other than that, James, I'm trying to settle into my older age, I guess. I'm settling into the evening of my life. How's that?
Oh, there you go. Just
there
time for
go.
this. Like, are you at the slippers stage yet? Like, are you
No.
slippers?
No.
This is like after the work clothes, you put on the sweats. You're on the sweats.
Yeah, exactly.
You went through a scare there. You gave us a scare there for a few years with your health, with your kidney.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that is sorted out. I do remember our conversation now, but did coming close, because you came close a few times.
A couple times in my life.
Yeah, the horse thing, like
the horse thing. Yeah, the heart attack, and of course the kidney.
That's right. Did you listen? I'm not asking you to like embellish or make something up or whatever, but being close to sort of basically having this life expire. Did you learn anything? Did you feel anything? Was it hope? Did you like put your not just your affairs in order, but your emotions in order? Like, were you ready?
Well, I don't want to sound spiritually awakened or anything, but honestly, all 3 times I was at peace.
Really?
All 3 times I was at peace. Yeah. The horse accident was the first one. And horse came down on my back, broke 4 ribs, punctured a lung. Yeah. So immediately I couldn't breathe. And then what happens is you're breathing air into your chest cavity, so it compresses on the other lung. And then once that collapses, you're toast, right? So it's a short period. It was 20 minutes. I lived 5 miles out of town. It was 20 minutes for the ambulance to get to my place and back to the hospital, into the emergency room. And the doctor aspirated my lung.
Wow.
Stuck it like a tent peg through my ribs, hit on. You could just hear all the air just go. And I finally took my first breath. It was like, like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And said, if you had to go to Regina, you wouldn't have made it. So, and there's quite a story there, because he was not supposed to be on shift. He had already sort of retired, was in administration, but he was filling in for his wife who wasn't there that day. And he was the only one who knew how to aspirate a lung in Weyburn. I know, right? Coincidence? I don't know.
If you were still with Dawn, your ex who hated me, she could have just got her to stab you or something, right? Like,
yeah, simple enough. Exactly. Take this jacket, take this butt knife, right through my ribs, right here.
Maybe the horse was just like, listen, if you're not going to leave her, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna stop making jokes about the ex. Let's welcome my tardy co-host, by the way, Troy. His name is Douglas. Douglas Connors. Douglas, how are you, buddy?
Nice to meet you, man.
Uh-oh, Douglas ain't ready. Look at him. Douglas?
Looks like he's getting ready.
I've got no sound. Okay. Well, good luck.
There we go.
There you go. Douglas
you
has sound. Douglas, this is my friend Troy Skog. Troy, this is Douglas. How are you guys?
Douglas, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you. Thank
you.
Douglas, I've known Troy since around the year 2000. He's an actor and an acting coach. You guys have something in common then. You got, oh my God, Troy, you should be his coach. No, I'm not going to make you guys all uncomfortable.
Okay, just sit down and tell me.
It all started when I was 5 and my mother made me eat spaghetti.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, we got a full house, guys. Hold on.
This is great.
Ryan Lindley is here. Ryan,
well,
how are you, buddy?
Hey.
I'm okay. How's
Okay,
everybody?
this is it. This is the full house now. No one else is coming. I'm glad everyone is
Ryan,
here.
I'm Troy. Nice
Lock.
to meet you, man.
Hi, what's up, Troy? How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thank
I caught the beginning of the show.
Right on.
The only reason why I came here was for an extra kidney, but apparently we're kind of short, so I'm gonna hit the old dusty trail.
Right.
What?
Okay.
What? You can't do that. You just got here.
I'm
I
just
missed
kidding.
you.
I'm kidding.
I was hoping you were just kidding. That's why I was laughing.
Hi, boys. Good to see you.
Hello.
Cheers.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
How's everyone doing? Ryan, it's good to see you. This is my first podcast in 3 months. Guys, how's my mic? Is my mic level okay?
It's
Much
great.
better than it used to be.
I did my
Okay.
first
Well, fuck you
podcast in
too.
3 months 2 nights ago.
Oh, really? How was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. It was with Army Chris and Ray Rout. It was really nice. We sat around and shot the breeze. It was really fun.
Well, this is also my first podcast without under the Crier Media umbrella.
Welcome.
Yes. Nothing really changes, I realized. Like, it's just, it's still the show.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's not that Crier, not that I didn't listen. I've said this before, I'll say it again. To have my first broadcast experience be with Dean Blundell for 150 shows on his show was the greatest crash course ever into broadcasting. I'm completely Troy, do you remember Dean Blundell from 102.1 in Toronto? The morning guy? So he's the guy that I've been working with for the last 3 years up until recently. So that was my first broadcast experience, was being on a show with him. And yeah, what's interesting is that I don't know if I didn't know if I wanted to podcast at all anymore like a month ago. I thought I was just gonna stop. And
Same here.
now I'm doing that thing again where I'm like, in a year I would like a top 10 podcast.
Right.
That's where I am again. And you know what I'm gonna do? Sciencey stuff. I want to fucking talk about science. In fact, I want to talk about science so bad that I'm going to show you guys a video here, because I think that this video is part of the most unreported stories ever. That we have. Hold on, where are we?
Yeah, Douglas, isn't
While
your
Jim sets up the video, I want to say this. I'm so glad that you guys are podcasting, because we need.
Okay, hold on.
We need more. We need as much podcasting.
Sorry.
Again,
Please continue,
although
Troy.
I'm not a podcaster.
Why
Yes,
aren't
we
you?
need.
Troy,
If
why
there's
don't
one
you
thing
have
the
a
world
podcast?
needs, it's more podcasts.
Join us. We've got cookies.
Yes, it's so
Join
nice
us.
to be here.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Douglas, isn't your sweetie a PhD? Yeah,
Yes.
So
Science. He found a
sciencey-
way to recycle the lithium out of electric car batteries while creating zero liquid and solid waste and recycling, I think, 99.7% of it with the purity that is needed to actually insert right back into another battery without any extra processing.
Oh, you're talking Troy's language right now.
Funny,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I worked
Yeah.
when I
It's
can now say
frighteningly
it.
Brilliant.
Live
I
long
can
and prosper.
I can say it out loud now that I worked for because I no longer am there, but I was a logistics analyst for GFL, And one of our subdivisions was a company that we bought them out. They were called Tonoli, and Tonoli is what they do is battery recycling. And that was under my umbrella of responsibility. So
Oh.
that's really cool. Yeah.
I don't have a science background, but my first job out of university was actually at the Canadian Space Agency.
No kidding.
I was doing communications for them. Yeah, when John Glenn went back into space the second time.
Wow.
In the 90s, like he was doing some osteoporosis research because in space,
weightless,
you lose the bone density and all that kind of stuff. So it's the perfect environment to study for that. And he was running some Canadian experiments.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
awesome.
my science, like other than computer science, stopped at grade 11 chemistry. But for some reason, all my professional work until I went to translation and podcasting was taking science or scientific concepts and being able to like explain them to your grandmother.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I was doing science communications.
Can you do something about them always clicking on scam links and giving out their credit card information to grandma? And
if you need to teach grandmas about tech, you can just practice on Lachlan. That would be.
That's right. It gives great merit for a science show. You guys do it.
Listen, I'm gonna play a video. Do you guys know who Josh Corbell is? No, Jeremy Corbell. Sorry.
Name sounds familiar. Yeah,
Jeremy Corbell is like the UFO researcher.
Yeah, wasn't he the government guy that started talking?
No, he wasn't a government guy. This guy's just a filmmaker guy. But the government guy is the David Grouch. I think that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, the military dude. Yeah.
I'm personally, I'm like, I know that our media sucks when they don't open with this story every fucking day because it is the biggest story of humankind, I think, ever. Unless Jesus walked down from the clouds and was like, I'm real. I think this is probably the biggest story that we've ever had. And the reason why it's big is because the government in the United States is recognizing that certain things exist. Now, there's all these people that are like, the government could just be saying that UFOs exist to shield them from their own tech. And it's like, maybe. I don't think so, though. But here's a video, and I want to talk about it on the flip side. So here we go.
I, for one, welcome our new alien overlords.
Yes, it all comes back to The Simpsons.
Yeah,
this is taken from a base in Iraq.
Looks like a smudge on the screen to me.
It kind of looks like the alien from Predator, just kind of flying around.
Right.
But listen, all the other UFO stuff that's come out, all the things that that we've seen over the last 3 years or whatever it's been. I don't think there's any coincidence that they broke the story that UFOs are real during the pandemic. I'm pretty sure that was an intentional thing.
Marketing.
Does anyone care about this story? Anyone? Are we so cynical? Do we scroll so much that we just scroll over the fact that aliens are real even?
Yeah, if any of this shit came out 20 years ago, it'd be a hell of a different approach, I think. I think we're exhausted. I think we're mentally exhausted on the oh my god, holy shit news. And I think that's what's happened here. Like we used to be so comfy as Canadians, just kind of hanging out. The odd story here and there would break. We would be in awe of America, which is what broke us anyway, and why we're so susceptible now is because of their TV. But now I think we're so exhausted. Like everybody's just exhausted with taking new shit in every day. That when something big like this, real or not, let's say it is, okay? Like I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what the hell that was. I'll wait till somebody smarter than me tells me.
Yeah.
I just think we're exhausted. I think we're exhausted, and that's why we don't give it the credence it deserves.
Yeah. I want to believe. Wasn't actually Troy? That's good time to go back to you. Troy was on an X-Files episode. But isn't that what the poster in Duchovny's office said? I want to believe. I'm that guy. I want to believe in this shit. Troy, which episode were you in the X-Files?
Oh my God. I don't know. James, I couldn't remember the name of the movie I was in.
It was the Amish one.
Witness?
Somewhere in there.
It was the Amish one, though. Weren't you the Amish kid that had powers or
the
something?
Amish brethren. That's right.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, this fits right in on this show.
See,
Yeah. Right.
it's so funny. I remember things. I remember you telling stories about your shows that you don't remember being in. But I remember very distinctly that you told me, you're like, not for nothing, David Duchovny, pretty good hacky sack player.
That's right. He was. Yeah.
And Gillian Anderson wasn't very nice.
Well, no. I'm sure she is nice, but she just wasn't nice to me in the moment. I happened to be laughing when I shouldn't have been laughing, and she checked me real quick.
Ooh.
This show would have been a hell of a lot more interesting if you told us you were on the Red Shoe Diaries, though.
Right.
That was Duchovny's other thing. What was that other show that he was in?
That
Californication.
Amazing
That was
show.
brilliant.
If anybody's not seen that, watch it.
Brilliant.
That was with Juliette Lewis, right?
Had an Entourage, two of the best.
Yeah.
You like Entourage?
Yeah, I loved it.
I liked it. I liked Ari on Entourage. I didn't like Adrian Grenier because I hate Adrian Grenier personally. Like I have a personal vendetta. If he saw me right now,
well, you can't refute that, buddy.
no. Well, listen. If he saw me right, the last time I saw him was in Toronto, like 3 years after we had our little. Listen, I was tasked with babysitting him for the Calgary Stampede for like a week, so I had to like bring him into his hotel, take him to the stupid little clubs. You were his
entourage?
Well, no, because he had that documentary, Teenage Paparazzi.
Oh, okay.
And so where he followed around paparazzi people or whatever. And so I was hired by the company that was helping him feature that movie in these little theaters and stuff. So I had the Calgary stop and the Toronto stop. So in Calgary, first of all, we go to the hotel. His gift basket is in my room, and so he's with me, and I go to my room, I open it, and he looks in and doesn't even like look at the gift basket. I didn't mention it, and he's like, I'm not staying in this hotel. And I'm like, okay. He's like, he was always looking at his phone, right? He's like, I'll just set up my own hotel across town. And I'm like, okay. The limo's there. You want me to get the limo to drive you? Yeah, but I don't need you to come with me. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't asking. I wasn't going to offer. So it's okay, right? So then I go into my room. I get his gift basket. And I'm like, I guess this is mine now. And then I go up to his room, which he didn't see, which was a palace. It was amazing. So I'm in Adrian Grenier's room with Nadja Caliber and Eugene, right? Dr. Draw.
Right.
He was just first of all, he was one of those gross guys that didn't like. This girl was like, I don't know if I can get in because I'm 18. She happened to be in our limo somehow, and I was like, where the fuck did this person come from, right? And I have responsibilities, right? Me. while drinking and doing blow, I still had all these responsibilities.
The right man for the
Right?
job.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Troy.
One of these responsibilities was probably don't bring underage girls into the event. I'm just imagining that was one of the things. So I looked at her and I was just like, if you're not of age, you can't get into this event. And Adrian Grenier blocks me with his arm, and he looks at me and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm making sure this child doesn't get into the event, right? And he's just like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of this. And I thought he was just going to sweet talk her and let her down. Instead, he just puts his arm around her and nods at the doorman who already met Adrian Grenier and just let him and the underage girl in. And I was just like, oh, he's one of those guys. And it was like all for the whole 4 days that we were there, it was just Adrian Grenier and little girls. And one of the girls was the little sister
I'm
of.
not keen on this fella now either, James.
Oh no, I don't. Yeah, one girl was
Very
just like,
Epstein-y.
he's got a man bush, so I called him Man Bush for the rest of the time, and he hated me. And then in Toronto, same thing, kind of thing. And at this after party, he walks up to me. I was talking to some lady, and he walks up to me and just does that thing where he smacks me on the back really hard, and it's like, "Hey, man!" And I look at him, I'm like, "I'm sorry, do I know you?" I just did one of those, and he fucking just couldn't stand it because he walks away, and the girl's like, "That was Agent Grenier," and I was like, "Who?" I don't know who this person is. Oh, I didn't like that one.
Good, James.
Yeah.
You got the last word in there, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't really need it. I should have just did everything right. Stayed sober, got that girl out of there. Didn't take the gift basket.
Entourage.
Yeah. Take the gift basket. It all started with the gift basket. That was the gateway
That's
drug.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I gave away the champagne. I don't even like champagne. In Miami, Mattis Yahoo
Tiny
gave
bubbles?
me his
You don't like
champagne,
the
and I'm
tiny
like,
bubbles.
yeah, that's right. My nose is too big for the glasses. I can't do it. So Ryan, what's been going on with you, buddy?
Oh, it's the same as always. I've in my, like I like to call it, my grown-up job is it got me very busy, but things are starting to kind of even out now. I was been able to hire some people and delegate some stuff, so I've got some time. So I was revisiting the idea of cracking the mic open again and coming back on and doing some stuff. But I had a thought, and this kind of goes to what you're saying about your idea for the Science-y podcast idea. I want to do a podcast, and it's going to be, I want to do something that's very, and it's going to sound cliche, but it's like the Seinfeld podcast, the podcast about nothing, where I'm going to have my wife, who is my favorite co-host I've ever had. And I've co-hosted with lots of very, very talented, very good people. But one of the most talented people, she really does. When I'm on and she's on, what's that?
I'm getting jealous.
Listen, I met her before I met you. Okay. If I would have met you first, we'd be married right now, Douglas, and you know it.
All right.
So,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I said, I want to do a show where we can just turn, like, I want no agenda. I want no topic. I don't want to be pigeonholed anymore in politics. I don't want to be pigeonholed in even food. Like, if something comes up that we want to talk about food, sure. We want to talk about something that's funny or something that's relevant or entertaining in politics, we can breeze right past it. But I'm not going to dedicate a show to anything anymore. It's going to be kind of like a casual Friday, the way we do things here with my wife and I.
Yep. Mulligan Fairchild.
Yeah. So that's kind of my idea. I've also got another friend that I ran into. I told the show on Army Chris's, or I told this story on Army Chris's show the other night. And I've got a friend that I went to high school with who I ran into that not that long ago, just before Christmas, and he knew where I was. Like, we hadn't talked, but he knew that I was doing stuff with Cryer, with Dean, and I was a co-host on the Blundell show. And he said, "I really want to do a podcast. I really want to do it." And this guy, he's got chops. Like, I guarantee you, this guy will be somebody to watch, right? And he's like, "You got to help me." I'm like, "Of course I'll help you." I want him in on that. I don't want him pigeonholing himself out of the gate either, because I really think we're in that weird transition where we're losing. Everybody's getting niche, right? Everybody's doing niche stuff. Douglas has politics, right? And it makes sense. That's his forte. That's
I'm a geek.
You're a political geek. Exactly. But you know what? I couldn't drink. Exactly. I couldn't do what he does. I can't do that anymore. I used to do it. I can't do it. I can't do the research. I don't want to do the research. I want to breeze through an article and have an opinion about it and say, "Meh, this is stupid. Oh, hey, this is great. Hey, this is neat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk something." And then just have that funny banter back and forth, almost like a Robin Quivers and Howard Stern kind of feeling, a vibe. You know what I mean? They're like an old married couple. Ashley and I are an old married couple. And we have things to say that nobody needs to hear. And I'm not looking, I don't want to go out and try and get sponsors. I don't want to try and do any of that shit anymore. I'm done with it. I want to go back to doing what I wanted to do when I first bought my first microphone and said, how do I make a podcast?
Yeah.
That guy. I want that guy back. and I want because that guy had passion for the actual broadcasting. That's what I want to do again. I want to.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good to know that about yourself.
That's me, my friend. That's awesome.
You know, it's a little self-awareness. I chased a dragon, to use a term. I chased coattails, we'll say, that I thought were going to go to a different spot, and they didn't. So, and hey, whatever. That's my bad. And yeah, I just want to do what I love, and that's talk and make people listen to what I have to say if they like it or not, you know, and just have fun with it and not be. I don't want to pick a side on anything. If this guy's doing something stupid, I'm going to make fun of him. If this guy's doing something stupid, I'm going to make fun of him. You know, like that, like the old, we're missing it. Everybody does niche things. There is no more general, just shoot the shit, entertainment that I've been able to find that I enjoy other than, and I swear to God, it's funny as weird as he's gotten in the last 5 or 10 years, Stern is still king of talking about fucking nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
he's also a really good interviewer.
Very good.
Yes, he's a great interviewer, and plus
Very
he can
good.
get any guest he wants.
That's the difference, right? So that and if I want to have somebody on the interview, I just want to chat with you. I just want to talk to you. I don't want to have an agenda. You're an interesting person. I'm going to let everybody know why I think you're interesting. You know,
Yeah,
that's kind of where
I think
I'm
that's
at.
a good idea. That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
And I think it's funny because Douglas, you're on the other side of that podcasting sort of spectrum right now because you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you want to do.
Yep.
It is the opposite of what not the opposite actually. You shoot the shit, you know, on your show with Paul.
Yeah, we mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I told you this before, but where you guys started to where you guys are now, you have like I love watching the evolution of a person just get comfortable in their interview chair. Because the interview that you did today with Susan
Yeah.
was what's her name? Susan Holt.
Susan Holt. Yeah.
Holt.
Susan
Yeah.
Holt was easily the best interview that, and you guys have done good interviews. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it was easily the most informative and best interview. You and Paul have a chemistry where you guys don't talk over each other. You know, like there is you toss it back and forth. I don't know if you guys just toss it back and forth organically or if
Pretty much.
you're, yeah, you know, so
Every now
guys
and then
have
we
a
put something
chemistry.
on the. Every now and then we put something on the chat that I need to take over for a little bit because I'm going somewhere. But other than that, yeah, that very rarely happens.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was a great interview today. I think that your niche is, if you have a niche, your niche is solid. The idea that you can interview someone about politics for like an hour, I know this from experience. It's not easy, you know, and you do got to kind of let them talk, but you also have a very non-adversarial style, right? Like, would you ever, or have you ever, maybe something slipped through the cracks for me, had someone on the show that you just totally don't agree with? Besides me.
Well, even when we don't agree, I mean, it's just a different perspective. It's not sort of like I don't agree with you and I don't got time with you. I don't have time for you because life's too short. It's like, okay, you see it that way, and it's like this is what I see, and we don't see the same thing, and that's fine. No, I've never had that type of thing because the guests. My interview perspective is I'm not there to sell my point of view, but I want to find out about you, and I'm genuinely curious about you. So, and I'm fascinated about you. I want to know what makes you tick. Yeah. So that's more my style. So I very rarely will get into a situation with someone where, I'm very controversial, where we're going to butt heads. And if ever anything like that slipped out, I would just say, well, it's almost like in the kink community, for example, right?
Hey, now.
Hold on, let me just adjust my chair. Okay,
in the kink community, for example, if somebody's into something that you're just not into, the rule is you don't judge my ick, I don't judge yours. And it's like,
don't yuck on someone's yum.
It's like, oh, that's interesting. That
what if they ask
the
you?
worst that happens is like, that's okay, that's just not my bag. Next subject, and then we go. So I really don't see an opportunity for that, and because I'm trying to cultivate a community, I'm not saying that there's certain people I wouldn't have on my show, but if I were to have someone that was extremely controversial, that I knew going in, I like everything I didn't agree with, it wouldn't be an opportunity to do gotcha, aha, I've nailed you. It would
Just
have
pass
to be
those
there would
people to
have to
me.
be an angle.
Just pass them right to me.
Yeah, because I don't want to be the gotcha question guy.
Yeah.
So if I'm
But you
going
don't
to
have to
something
be.
controversial, if I'm going into something controversial, it's because I want to know why it is you made that decision,
That's the right way to do it, though.
whether I agree with it or not.
Right.
Every time I got shat on for having Christine Anderson or someone like that on the show, like if you watch the interview, I'm not like, oh, so yeah,
yes, that's a great
I'm not.
idea.
But I also don't take time to scold her either, because what's the fucking point in that? Like other than to signal my virtues to my audience. I don't, people know where I don't know if people know where I stand, but I don't really care. Like I just want to know what the guest thinks, and then the interview's over. Sometimes they say something that's crazy, and I'll call them out, like Randy Hillier's attorney or something like that, right? Like
in his rented or his rental house. Yeah.
Yeah.
The I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the trick is to let them hang themselves.
Right.
If it is somebody that is going to hang, they will hang themselves eventually. You'll just let them do it. Don't do them any favors by stopping them, and don't push them towards it. And I agree.
You have to recognize the question that could be potentially bait. Like one time I was on Charles Adler's show before he joined the network, when he still had his own show,
Yeah.
and I wasn't podcasting yet because somebody, a politician, had gotten to a Twitter battle with me like this and fully went racial.
Oh, wow.
And I said, wow, can you believe this thing happened? And I wrote to people, it says, like, people should know about this. And Charles had me on his show. And it was the leader of the Bloc Québécois at one point, I guess. And he asked me a question that could have led me down to the path, oh, this damn separatist, da 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 da. And it's like, I just went like, listen, I don't know what's in his heart. All I know is that my interaction with him was there, and I kept it there, and I moved on. And then Charles thought that I had like class because I didn't want to go down that path. And he asked me like 2 or 3 different ways to see if I would go down that path, and I kept going, nope, not going to go there. So it's recognized, and I don't think he was trying to bait me, but I see it on Twitter sometimes. Like somebody puts a statement, and I just like, and I could respond to it. No, you didn't, or that's bait to try to engage me into a mindless argument about who's worse. Yeah. I'm going to pass on that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I made Charles Adler cry on purpose, and I felt like a big deal because I did that. And then I realized that he cries like every other podcast. So I was like,
what about? Sorry, Troy, you're up there. You're quiet. You're just nodding and soaking all this in.
I'm loving the conversations, guys.
Why aren't okay? I understand it, because we know who you are. We've heard the stories about what you do.
Right. Or I've done.
How awesome would an Inside the Actors Studio style podcast with Troy be? Like old stories.
He forgets what he's in.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, we could have lots of fun.
So that would be limited, but I would love to join a podcast with you guys, both of you, as well as James again, at any time, and just shoot the shit about anything. I love all. Meeting you guys,
just people, and that's what I love. Like,
just talk about everything. I like taking the cues from shit. There's so many cues out there, right?
Yeah.
Just picking them up, and let's talk about this now,
dude. Troy knew me in my early 20s.
Righto. Righto.
There's a lot of stories that you could be telling. If you had a better memory, I'd probably cancel this show right this second.
Well, the thing is that I think you and I, Troy, share something in that, yes, I act and all that kind of stuff, but when you're an actor, because you are fascinated by people, you're fascinated by behaviors, by motivations, why people are the way. Like, there are a lot of actors that love to play totally evil characters, even though they are the sweetest people in the world.
Every evil guy possible.
Yeah, and it's like,
well, you kind of look like a gangster, like a little bit.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you have a character.
He could pass like
a weapons dealer or something.
I was gonna say a great value Uncle Junior, or even like an Irish IRA guy.
Yes,
you're so versatile, Troy. You are versatile. You're a versatile guy, Troy. Okay, I know your memory's kind of wishy-washy, but can you give me like a ballpark number of how many roles you've actually played in?
TV film.
Yeah, TV film, stage.
Not a lot.
What about stage?
In TV film, not a lot. Like in TV, maybe 15, 20.
You had a recurring character on what's that Saskatchewan sitcom?
Corner Gas?
Gas.
No, Moccasin Flats.
Moccasin Flats.
Oh,
Oh, the other one. Oh, that was good.
That's right. That was
good.
Ditty.
Who did you? Okay, now tell me if this is a thing.
Drug dealer, the kingpin.
Do you mold yourself after anybody? Do you take any sort of inspiration from any mainstream actors we might know?
Oh, well, there's so many great ones.
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins.
That's Sir Ben Kingsley to you.
Play in Vancouver.
And Sir Anthony Hopkins to you.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot. You're right.
Sorry, go ahead, Troy.
I saw a play in Vancouver a couple of weeks ago, and the older actor playing this role was like, for me, would have been like watching Anthony Hopkins. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. Wow.
I have so much respect for
because I've forgotten already.
Sorry, James. Before you go on with that, what about you, Douglas? You're an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take any cues from anybody? Like, do you take inspiration from any other anybody we would know?
I don't know inspiration. I'm one of those actors. Like, if I get a play that's been that a movie's been made of and I haven't seen it, I don't go and watch it.
Right.
I don't go and watch the movie. I don't go and watch the story on it because I don't want to see that and do that. I want it to come from me. So for most roles, I do, unless it's something like really, really far from me. And even then, I can find, I just keep on trying to think, me, myself, if I was in that situation, what would I do? I guess, how would I react? And I start from there. And then I try to take cues from the text about with the character. And then I sort of add those elements to it. But the best, I find for me, the best way to be credible on stage is not to depart that far from me, no matter how far the character is from me. Like I tend to get cast in comedies and stuff that has physical stuff because I was a dancer and I'm really, really good at falling. And I started in children's theater. Yes. But I got this one play once called Crans and Bernardo, where technically I was horrible. Okay. Basically, we were two horrible, completely unlikable characters. And I was like a quarter of an inch little more redeemable than the other one. Essentially. I mean, I
you're 5'6".
Yes, I waterboarded a guy in a latrine in this one. This is so freaking
outside of your box. Absolutely.
I set him on fire. Okay, because he was just bugging the shit out of me. Because I would never do that in real life, ever. And when I read it, I was like, how am I supposed to play this? I can't relate.
So would you go and find an inspiration somewhere of a piece of shit that would do that?
No. I just sat there and I'm going like this. If I were a piece of shit, what kind of piece of shit would I be? And I just went with that. And apparently I nailed it. So.
Yeah, that's where the greatest reward comes is when you can just let that come from within you.
And I love the role because I said things I never get to say in real life and do things I never got. Right. It felt good.
Yeah. So is that what you treated it like a release?
Like
I know why trolls do it. Being an asshole feels good.
Did you treat it like a release? Is that what you did? Like
eventually, Eventually, yeah. But the weird part is because it was a short one act, so it was only about 50 minutes. But because for the entire time I was either raging or on the border of rage or like just like this, my body was so sore because I was like so tense the entire time without like this. And I'd go home, it's like, oh my God, I'm so and that's why I can't understand method actors at all. I can't, because why would you want to keep that? Like when I heard like Joaquin Phoenix played the Joker or whatnot, like this, and he like lost all that weight and he had to go live somewhere else for a while. It's like, and then it was like, what wife kicked him? I was like, no, you can't stay here because you're just way too crazy now. This is like, I could not. I have to go home.
Did you hear Dave Chappelle tell that?
Story. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Chappelle and Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Troy, go ahead.
Right, Marathon Man, Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier.
Yes,
remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So Dustin Hoffman, method actor, right? He had to do all those scenes running in. I think he was in his pajamas, running in the winter.
Yeah,
because the guy wanted to drill him up, and so he apparently, this is the myth, this is a story, is that he used to like hug a block of ice, get a big block of ice in, put a blanket on it, hug it, and get cold. So he could
Plus,
go
he's the
run.
same size as the ice, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, exactly.
You're one to talk there, D Fiore.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, you need a
And
couple
one day he
blocks of
walked
ice
in one
too.
day and saw him lying on his block of ice, and he goes, "Why don't you try acting, my boy?"
Yeah, I wanted to for a long time. I wanted to be an actor. I when I was 20, I saw Christopher Plummer do the one-man act Barrymore at the Ford Center for the Performing Arts in North York or whatever, and I was mesmerized. I was like,
Christopher Plummer.
it's Christopher Plummer, and this was in the 1999, so he was 60 or something like that.
Right.
And listen, I have so much respect for crafts that I can't do. And I kind of like want to sometimes see if I can channel what they might be feeling. Like when I'm by myself, like before interviews, I'll pace and I'll visualize questions and I'll visualize their answer. I won't write anything down, but I'll visualize it. And often what's really neat is that they will often answer the way that I visualize their answer. And I've realized that like visualization is really important, like for my process. But to imagine the craft that you have to build over a lifetime to be able to do a one-man act in front of thousands of people, and you're the only focal point the whole time. I just have so much
daunting.
respect for it. I
They're
have respect
masters, James. They're masters.
totally.
They're masters
And
at their craft.
it's the same thing with comedians.
Yep.
And I know that they all have different processes and everything, and I get it. But like, I really like enjoy listening to Bill Burr and other comedians talk about how long it takes to work out a bit, how long it takes them to get a half an hour of material.
The minutia, yeah.
Yes, I love that because and it's not because like listen, I'm one of those ADHD guys where if someone put me in a room and said, "I'm gonna kill everyone you love unless you become a comedian at the end of this year," I would become a comedian. I really would. I would figure it out. I would get 20 minutes of material. I would deliver it. I would be a very average comedian, but I would be a comedian after that year because I like finding different interesting things and then learning how the experts do it. I won't ever do it. I'm not going to be a comedian, right? But acting is one of those things that has always made me like when I watched the making of Django. And I listened to Jamie Foxx and Quentin Tarantino talk about that one scene where DiCaprio
Glass.
smashes that skull
Yeah.
and he's bleeding and he wipes his blood all over that woman's face and how that was all ad lib. Oh my God. It just gives me goosebumps. It would be amazing to be Jamie Foxx and sitting at that table and witnessing that and everyone having to stay into character themselves because they're like, I don't know how far he's going to fucking take this. Those magical moments are great. I talked to Paul Sorvino once. In New Jersey. We all went out to dinner actually with him and Furio from Sopranos and a couple other people. And there was like 8 of us at our table. And of course, you know, I found a way to sit beside him, right? And
Of course you
because I wanted to know about, and I'm like, listen, I know that you've been asked a million questions about Goodfellas. As I'm pouring him his 25th glass of wine and getting into him, right? And he's like, Jimmy, ask me anything you want. And I'm like, okay. All of those scenes that like, because I noticed things like when Joe Pesci is doing the clown scene, I noticed things like the edits and how Ray Liotta's cigarette keeps on going up and down, or if his drink is at his mouth versus on
continuity.
the table.
Yeah, for sure.
Those things bother me. I don't like noticing those. And I talked to him about that, and he was like, well, here's the thing. He's like, we have a script, and we'd go by the script, and then we would ad lib.
Yep.
And then he would create a new script for that scene where he writes out the ad libs that worked.
Yep.
And then you re-deliver the ad libs. And I'm like, holy fuck, really? I'm like, so it's not just off the cuff? He's like, no. He's like, there's maybe 1 or 2 moments that are off the cuff in that entire movie. But the ad lib that Joe Pesci did with the clown thing was total ad lib. But then he typed it out into script form, made him memorize his old ad lib, and then shot it again. And I was like, see, I didn't know
It's
that.
funny.
Brilliant.
It's and it's
But
funny
that's the
how
good
they
stuff.
and it's funny how they different directors will allow things like that. Then go back to Django.
Yeah.
And go back to Tarantino, and Tarantino saying to Jamie Foxx when Jamie Foxx showed up on the set with his BMW and his latte and his, designer clothes. Apparently Tarantino looked at Jamie Foxx and said, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Who the fuck do you think you are? You're nobody. You're a freed slave. Who the fuck do you think you are?" And like, he was serious with him.
Oh yeah.
And put him in his place to the point where Jamie Foxx is a very, very accomplished actor, singer, rapper, whatever, comedian.
He had his Oscar for Ray already.
Exactly. And he was humbled because Tarantino's Tarantino, right? And he went, holy shit. And then he actually, I've heard him explain the DiCaprio story as well, where he said, "What the fuck am I watching? I am out of my element here. Like, I am not," even though he's an Oscar winner. He says
Ray was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen.
100%. But but just that difference between a director like Scorsese, who will allow actors to play something out like that, and it might not get used, but he'll let it happen because he's stealing it from them. Why not? Because it might be better. He at least he knows that. Apparently, Tarantino will not. You do not go one word off that script on a Tarantino film. Not one word.
Yeah, I've worked
unless you bleed from your hand and smush it in someone's face.
I've worked with both styles, and it's really interesting because I think a couple of plays ago we did My Three Angels, which is like, three ex-cons who may or may not be angels who are interfering in people's lives, and they're all scoundrels, but two of them were murderers and one was just like this charming swindler. That was the charming swindler. I like this, and I'm saying, like, he knows about art and he knows about wine and he knows something like this. So like, I'm walking on stage, it's like, well, this bottle of wine, like this, and I'm thinking, like, am I camping this up way too much? Because I'm thinking, like, maybe it's because it is a broad comedy, and I'm thinking, like, the director at some point is going to say,
really, they're called women. They're called women. Not
He's like, but I'm figuring at some point he's going to reel me in, right? Because the rule I was always told was put more on and be pulled back rather than not put enough, because if you don't put enough, then they don't know if you can actually get there. They prefer to pull you back. Right. And I'm thinking at some point he's going to pull me. Like, I'm just like coming in and laying on thicker and thicker and thicker every time, and it's like he's going to pull me back at some time. Like this, in about like a month and a half in, I'm looking at him and so like, is this too much, man? It's like, am I like, I love it. Just do it like this. And apparently the whole play, I was just chewing up the scenery left, right, and center, and apparently it worked. But I'm thinking,
bring it to the next level, right?
But I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like this. I'm playing this way too gay,
right? But the suit was so nice. I mean,
that's always the question to ask.
But it did work.
Am I too gay for this? Am I being too gay? No, and it works in certain things. Like you say, it was a bit of a dark comedy, right? So I think the eccentricity and the absurdity of the character, if he was some swindling, smooth talking dude, that's kind of what it calls for, right? So yeah, I guess he must have liked what you were throwing down.
I kept on reading the script like this, and it was written by husband wife team, and like this, I'm reading it, and it's like I cannot believe that gay people did not write this. It is so bitchy, right? It's like Golden Girls level bitchy. And I'm thinking like this, gay people had to have written this, so I just played it like gay people wrote it. Oh,
F, Marry, Kill on the Golden Girls, boys.
Yes.
F, Marry, Kill.
Original manuscript, J. Edgar Hoover. You never know, right?
So you never know. And then I've worked with people like this where, I've like, okay, I'm going to add a little bit of myself here, and it's like, no, like this. They read the script and they had a vision specifically of what they saw, like this, and they didn't want anything else than what they had imagined in their head, and like this, and then just do that. And I like both, because I like the opportunity to play. Like you said, go, like, you have an idea and it's almost like you're workshopping the play all over again. Oh, that works. Let's do that. Let's that. But I also like, if you know exactly what you want, it's like, tell me what to wear tell me what to wear and what time to show up, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, at that point, I don't have to think. I just have to do it. I'm good.
Scorsese and Tarantino, or I guess, are on different sides of that spectrum. I don't know who. if I was a director, I think I'd probably be more like Tarantino because,
Mhm.
you know, you visualize something in your head. I don't know if it's ego that would take over or just like I want it to be what I want it to be. Like, you know, like I want it. But I could totally see a Scorsese director really allowing actors to unleash something that you might find a
Absolutely.
magical tidbit in there,
Look at
right?
the
Like,
cast he's had to play with.
Right,
How
De
could you not
Niro.
trust them to create a masterpiece, right?
Yeah.
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 Working with Joe
Pacino.
Pesci, how do you tie him down?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
it's
and that's the
great.
thing.
Whatever you need to make it real. You know?
And that's the thing. When you get good actors, I mean, again, you know, if you have a vision, that's fine. But I mean, if you have good actors, like the whole point about acting is making choices. Let them make some choices and see what you get. And
Right.
I think that directors, when they have a vision and they're really, really strong, really strong, they don't want to deviate with it. If it works well, it's great. But when they don't, that's when you see in a review, oh, it was a little self-indulgent. That's when you usually get that comment if it didn't work.
Well, fuck
What
that
I've
guy.
learned from doing theater is it's my job as an actor to, first of all, be able to see and then understand what the director's vision is.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky because most of the time I see it and I see it and it's wonderful. I want to follow that. Sometimes it's off. So, you know, in those situations, you just continue to do your job and wish the best. You know, I had an opportunity to play Hamlet and it was just a really bad concept. That was the pistol packing Hamlet. Just shot everyone I didn't like. But you know, you just
To be or not to, there you go.
Yeah, shut up, motherfucker.
Yeah, not to be.
Yeah, not to be tonight. Yeah. It's
So
great.
you guys breezed past
sorry.
you breezed right past it when we brought up the Golden Girls. I said F, marry, kill on the Golden Girls. You leave Sophia out of it.
Oh,
Who you fucking, who you marrying, who you killing from the Golden Girls?
Oh boy.
Who's your F, marry, kill for the Golden Girls?
well,
F
Blanche
Rose.
is definitely the F. Right?
no.
Yeah,
F
yeah.
Rose.
Oh,
F Rose. Kill Blanche, marry Dorothy.
what?
Wow.
I'm
That's
the
the gay
love child. Of
perspective.
Dorothy. I'm the love child of Dorothy Spornak and Julia Sugarbaker. So like Dorothy and I would get along.
You only
like
have to
this.
kill one.
Okay.
You marry one and you fuck
I'm gonna
one.
kill the mom because it's the easiest kill.
No,
you
no, I
can't.
said
You got
Sophia's
out.
I can't kill Sophia.
No.
No, you
But
got
it would
to
just take a couple seconds. Like,
Do you know that she was the youngest
I
one on
know,
the
I
cast?
know.
Yeah,
I would
pretty
kill
wild,
Dorothy. I would fuck Blanche, and I would marry Rose.
Rose?
Yeah, I think that'd be the way to go.
Yeah.
No.
Plus, Dorothy's
I-
too tall.
I gotta marry Dorothy, man. We would get along. We have compatible crazy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. My wife said the same thing in the comments there. I'm definitely fuck Blanche, marry Rose, kill
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could-
this
Are
is-
you a couple?
Instead of killing, could we just like cage match it?
Cage match.
That'd be fun to
It's the
beat
game.
someone up.
Well, if it's cage match, then I'm cage matching Dorothy.
just cage match all of them. See what happens.
You just want them legs around your neck, eh?
I can't believe I ended up fucking Sophia and killing her. This is crazy.
Actually, you know what? It'd be good to have Dorothy around though to change the light bulbs in the hallway upstairs because like it's like a 9-foot ceiling. So
Oh.
Have you ever seen
Estelle Getty,
Betty White when
apparently.
she was like in her 20s and 30s?
oh my
Oh, she's
god,
gorgeous.
oh she was gorgeous.
In the swimsuits and the pinup
Incredible.
pictures and
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh.
yeah. B. Arthur was she was a
She's always been
large
Maud.
lady. Always
Yeah.
Maud. Yeah, isn't it? It's hard to keep that. It's hard to. She's like one of those. What do they call it? Typecast.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was very typecast. You know, just like for Sorvino. You brought up Sorvino earlier. Like, how could you put Sorvino in anything other than a mob flick?
I know.
You're right.
It was tough.
Well,
It's tough.
except,
if you watch
have you
him
seen
in,
Mambo Italiano?
no.
Oh, Mambo Italiano. It's a Canadian movie, and Jeanette Renault, the singer from Quebec, was playing his wife in it. And it was a comedy. He didn't have like a huge role in it like this, but apparently he and her got on like this.
Wow.
Hmm.
Best of friends, they're singing opera together and just
Nice.
they loved it.
He had a hell of a voice. James
yeah.
has a really cool video actually. I don't know if you've got it handy,
see if I can
James.
find
Of
it.
he actually caught it on a cell phone of Sorvino belting one out in the restaurant that they were at in that story that James was telling earlier tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, he had quite the voice on
Oh,
him.
he was great.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. Keep talking, guys. I'll see if I can find this.
What's on the horizon, Troy?
Yeah.
You got any projects going?
Well,
or?
no. I kind of hung up my acting hat a little while ago.
Oh.
I was living in Vancouver with my wife, and during COVID, when all auditions went remote from home,
Of course, yeah.
it just became too much of a hassle for a day or two's work, because at that point it was just a day or two's work that came up every now and then.
I couldn't imagine having to perform when you're used to having live eyes in front of you. Like it's like comedians. When comedians were doing comedians were doing their stand-up, doing like corporate gigs on Zoom calls.
Right.
I couldn't imagine. Like I couldn't imagine doing it.
Yeah, well, this is a reality of the business at that time too, for TV and film.
Right.
Is the old days, you would get called in for an audition, meet the casting director, and you probably 20, 25 people would get called in. And then you got a call back where you met the casting director and the producer and director, and there was probably 5 of you. And then out of that, they chose who got the role. Well, COVID came in, everything went online. So all of a sudden, 1,000 people are submitting for the same role.
Yep.
Tapes are getting watched, tapes aren't getting watched, who knows? Go with what names you know, kind of thing. And I tell you, for the amount of time it was taking for my wife to be my makeup, my reader, and my camera person, I remember I got cast in Riverdale or something. Yeah, it was Riverdale.
I loved that show.
And she goes, you realize you made like 5 cents an hour for all the time we put into this.
And isn't your wife a lawyer too?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like an accountant.
Take her time off to do my
All right, so
makeup.
I have that video. Do you guys want to watch that video, Paul Sorvino?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
So this is after dinner, after all the Goodfellas conversations. I'm the guy filming, and the one who who embellishes his Okay, so then he takes over. Keep in mind, he's drank like 3 bottles of wine at this point, and he still is able to deliver this.
Capurro. The song is O Sole Mio, and the little girl was my Aunt Louisa. I'm going to now sing that song. Che bella cosa, una giornata sola, un'aria serena dopo una tempesta, l'aria fresca, pare già una festa. Che bella cosa, una giornata sola. Vado sola, che bella idea. Oh, sole mia, stan fronte a te. Oh, sole mia, stanno fronte a te, stanno fronte a te.
Just like, dude,
That's me drunk at a
And
party.
if you've ever heard Jeanette Renault
Just
sing, you would know why they got along, because she has that same ability to do that.
oh,
That was
Really?
Oh, yeah.
brilliant.
thanks, Ghost of Troy.
Awesome.
Dude, witnessing that was just like, I was like, because I like to in my own. If I could play what's in my head half the time, it would just be me going like this. This is fucking cool. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Is this really happening? That's fucking Uncle Polly. Uncle Polly's singing opera. This is fucking amazing. He just hit me with spit, and I don't fucking care. Like,
I don't know how to make a restaurant. How do you want to make a restaurant? How do you make a
what
restaurant?
do I know
don't
about the
how to make
restaurant
a
business? This is where I got to throw my back on you as I turn my sausage and peppers. Like, and it's just, and Furio, by the way, was like one of the most gentlest, quietest kind of guys ever. Who else did I met?
Hey, doggo.
What's that?
There's a doggo. There's a pupper.
That's my
Sorry.
Piper, newest member of our family.
What kind of dog is it?
Cute.
She is 3/4 mixed shepherd, so she's got Belgian, German, and King Shepherd, and then 1/4 Pyrenees.
Look at you. Look at your little
10
face.
weeks old.
Sorry for anybody listening to the audio version of this. You are missing out.
Oh,
This is
I
why you should
am
be watching on
melting. What a
YouTube.
cutie.
Look at his
Look
nose.
at that face.
My goodness.
Hello. Hey there.
He's gonna be big,
Oh,
eh?
the pretty girl.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to say about the dog?
Let me see his paws. Let me
What's
see his
that?
front paws.
Puppers.
Ashley's watching
Oh, my
from the
Lord, yeah,
monitor
it's
on
gonna
the
be a
other
big
side,
dog.
and losing your mind.
Oh my God. What a cutie.
So the plan is
Oh.
to get her into search and rescue training.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, she has to audition for it, James. So maybe I'll have to do the chair thing with her.
oh my God! Tell her to find her truth, and she'll never ever not rescue somebody. Put a little during the audition. Put a little barrel around her neck. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ashley, are you going to be okay over there?
Oh.
No,
No?
no.
Oh my God.
Can I pet that dog?
Yeah.
It's so soft. I want to pet.
I know.
Oh. You know,
He's a
Troy,
good-
what
Yeah.
you were mentioning though.
Ashley's here off camera.
I
by
had
the
to
way.
come just to say it. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Oh, thanks. Piper appreciates that.
Oh.
Like my dog thinks I'm excited about him. He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "No, not
Shut up,
you." I'm used
I
to
have
you.
eyes
Back
for
up.
someone else right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're old.
You're old hat now.
It's like the first kid.
That's right.
Oh.
Right.
No, the first one's like a pancake. It's like a throwaway. First pancake never comes out right.
Oh, she's going to kill me. Oh, there she is. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, babies.
Hello, gorgeous.
Everybody can.
I wasn't lying. I'm in my pajamas.
You look good. You're working it.
Good time for it.
Your pajamas look like Troy's Tuesday clothes.
It's my Dunville dinnerware.
Dunville dinnerware. Keswick dinner jacket.
Oh, you know what? I do want to talk about something controversial because I think it'll be fun.
Let's
But I
do
want to
it.
talk about this because I know that Douglas and I have a different opinion on this. So this is something that happened in the news this week. I have my own take on it, and I would like to just see what everyone else has to say about this.
I need a drink
Freeland, how
and a
come
pee.
the IRGC is not a terrorist group?
Emma.
Why is your government supporting Islamo nationalism? What? Excuse me. What are you doing?
You're under arrest for assault.
What, sir?
Why are you
bumped
pushing
into
me? You're under arrest for
bumped into
assault.
me. Who are you?
You're under arrest for
I don't even
assault.
know. What are you
Police.
talking about?
Police, you're under arrest for
How am
assault.
I under arrest? You bumped into me.
You pushed into me.
You bumped.
sir.
I was just scrubbing. I got my credentials here, and you just bumped into me. So excuse
Police, you're under
me.
arrest
What is your
for
name and
pushing.
your badge?
Come over
What
here
is
for
your
a
name
second.
and your badge?
You've been told you're under arrest.
That's pretty much the long and short of it. First of all, he was never
First
charged.
of all, that hat was a decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hat was a decision. That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe
That was
drunk,
his
maybe
first
not.
poor. That was his first poor choice that day.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Just saying.
I have my own opinion on this. This is what I honestly think. I think they saw Menzies, who has a history of trying to like cause the police to sort of focus on him so that he can then fundraise on the situation, right? This is what he does. Because the security guy knew that, it impacted the way he would normally react to a reporter trying to ask a question to Christia Freeland, and in that moment became bouncer instead of security guy. A bouncer is the kind of guy that blocks people, and then when you bump into them, they look down on you and they're like, okay, the exit's over there. It's time for you to go, right? But
Exactly.
instead, he allowed the contact to happen intentionally and then pretended that he assaulted him because it's Menzies. I gotta say, I think what happened there was like incidental contact that was both sides were kind of guilty of that contact, I think. But because Menzies has that reputation,
Because he's Menzies.
yeah, and he's got that reputation, and he deserves the reputation. I'm not saying he doesn't, but because they didn't charge him after all was said and done, not because they did him a favor, but because you can clearly see on camera that it was incidental. He didn't try to bowl the guy over. He just kept walking while he was trying to ask questions, and the guy literally blocked his path. It would have been I don't know if it would have been an offensive foul in basketball, and no one likes my basketball analogy when I talk about this, but it just looked like incidental contact to me. Douglas, what do you think?
On the slow, he's got his shoulder up, but I want to show you a picture. This is something we didn't know when we saw it on the show. And here's where you're going to see where I'm a total geek, because I was able to draw this up in 2 seconds. I knew exactly where it was and what word to type in to bring it up.
Okay.
If you share the screen.
I don't know how to do that. What do I do? Share screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I just hit share screen.
Yes, sir.
And now what do
It
I
will
do?
Share whatever is on your screen. So close the porn first.
Is that sharing screen?
Well, I've shared the screen, so you have to bring it up.
Oh.
What's on the
James
side
watching
on,
porn?
on your
No,
thing?
I'm not
is-
watching porn. How do I where do I go? I don't know how to oh there, this.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Got it.
Nice.
Now, see that post? He was on the inside of the post, so he was trying to push her into that corner to corner her, and I think that's where we didn't have that angle, and I think that's why he got in his way, because he did not want him to get her into that corner where she would have been isolated and could not move.
But didn't she already sidestep out of there?
The woman in front of her sidestepped to the other side, but she hadn't yet. So he was blocking the speed. He was trying to force. He was trying to force her into that corner where she would not have been able to escape. And I think that's why he acted quickly. And the other thing is that I think a day after that, there's a politician in South Korea while he was scrumming. Some guy just came out of there and stabbed him in the neck.
Wow.
And I think
Yeah,
that's what they're
it was-
worried about. Is it's not so much the reporter, but is there a two-person thing going on?
Sorry, I just want to answer Saucy C, which is question. About an hour and 31 minutes.
Now who's saucy?
I don't know listen, I'm using a very the free version of Restream. I can't even post pictures.
Oh,
I can't. I don't know. I didn't realize that this was happening. I forgot about the one perk that I had with Crier Media is I didn't have to worry about this type of shit. But yeah, I don't know how to do things. I don't listen. My ultimate goal would be to do my honest to God goal in 2 years is to have a podcast on Netflix, and I don't produce my own shit. I just sit in a chair. And
Oh, God.
and
That
then
is the
I
dream,
see the
isn't it?
countdown. I start talking. I interview somebody. I shoot the shit. I go, and then someone else does all the things. I don't like
That's
the
the
things.
dream.
I'm not a big
Netflix, though?
thing fan. What's that?
Was it Netflix though? That's what you want to go with?
I do. I want to have a podcast on Netflix where it's an interview show, one-on-one interview show. That's an hour, and it broadcasts live on Netflix, and then you can watch the taped ones or whatever. That's
So like a David Letterman idea.
oh,
My next guest.
No, I see what you mean. No, I think his on-set production stuff where he visits them is probably what I wouldn't want to do. But something more like, listen, aside from all the horrible rape accusations, something like Q.
okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's
Let's
me and
go
somebody
meshy.
else, and I interview them. I try not to have sex with my coworkers against their will, and shoot. These are
The operative
John-
word.
No,
Just
I'll do
try.
that. There is no try.
There is no try.
I really tried not to have sex with my guest.
Well
And I
done.
I don't know what happened. I just got sucked into it.
right?
No pun intended.
Just so charming.
They just can't stick me with like a older woman producer, because then she's got everything that I like. She probably wears a pencil skirt. She's older than me, and she's tough, and I can't resist that. I just can't.
Is it just me though, or are you guys getting sick of this style, the Zoom style interviewing and the Zoom style
I am.
shows?
I would-
I am.
I'm really tired of this.
I would prefer to be able to have someone in the room if I was doing shoulder, if I would be able to. But then
Yeah.
again, like I have no budget, so I can't fly anybody in from BC, right?
Back in September, we were in Wabashine and we did some Getting Sauced episodes. We did 2. We did them pre-recorded, and it was audio only. It wasn't. We didn't do video for those. There was some behind the scenes, but that was it. But having people in front of you, that energy was just palpable. Like it was so tangible it was right there to have those conversations, and it felt like the hour and a half that we did went by in 10 minutes because it was, and the flow was good. There was no little microsecond delay that we have in these situations when we're talking to each other. So you're not stumbling over somebody when you're trying to get a point in. You can throw the quick jab in.
Yeah.
And everybody will get it. Even if it wasn't caught on the air, it was caught in the ear. You know, like I miss
Coffee
that
talk.
fluidity.
Coffee talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that fluidity. I'll give you a topic, you know, yeah.
Amongst yourselves.
The Roman Catholic Empire wasn't Roman, it wasn't Catholic, and they weren't a fucking empire.
Remember what Dr. Schwartz said.
I'm for Clemts. Yeah,
This show was like butter.
I missed that. Yeah, and there's so many people that are killing it in this space that would do even better. Like somebody like Douglas, somebody like James. I think in that space of that one-on-one, that it's almost, you know what it is, especially when you're talking to a controversial person. It's an accountability level. This still has that air of anonymity between, like almost like somebody on Twitter just talking shit with a fake name. Because there's no accountability. You're not sitting in front of somebody. It's not Mike Tyson on breakfast television almost getting like into a fight with a host of a show, you know, where that rapport is.
There's some
it's broken.
There's some people that there's interview subjects that I've had, like I hope no one's watched this one because I hate this interview. It's my worst interview I've ever done. I interviewed Lawrence Krauss, you know, the geophysicist or whatever he is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the other what's his name's buddy?
Yes.
My favorite guy. What's his name? Ashley, the British guy. Oxford.
Oh.
Doctor.
The atheist?
Yeah.
The God delusion?
Oh, Dawkins?
Yeah.
Dawkins. Richard Dawkins. It's Richard Dawkins' pal.
Yeah, so I interviewed him, and it took me a while to get him on or whatever. And then when I got him on, he was so flippant and like, you know, like he had an air that was just better than me or something. Like, I don't know if he just didn't like the way I worded the questions or whatever, but, you know, I was like, tell me about your job. Tell me what is life like in like whatever he is, a physicist or whatever it was it is. Right? I got it right. And he didn't give me anything, right? He just went like this. You want to know about my job? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know, we are on air, and you know this.
It sounds like the start of a shitty date.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You know? And it's just, and I cut the interview after 20 minutes. I was like, okay, well, thank you for joining us. And I just let him go. And I don't remember what I said at the end, but it was probably something like, that was a disaster. See you next time on Blackballed.
And that's how you know there's not going to be a second date. Like,
You know what? Let me just pay for the appetizers and that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think we're good.
It's like,
But I hear you though. Like,
it's a shame because I
being
really
face
like
to face,
dessert.
being face to face would be a big asset in being
so.
able to get somebody to unearth something about themselves that they might not unearth when they're just staring at a webcam.
Yep.
You know,
you know when you know what that feeling that you get when you actually meet somebody in person and you shake their hand, you look them in the eye, you have that physical contact with a person.
Connection.
Exactly. There's a connection there right away. And that is something that I find is required in an interview. Like it's a required building block. It's a foundational corner that gets missed in this space until you have like Troy, like for a perfect example, I just met Troy tonight, right? And I find Troy to be a very interesting, charismatic, very easy guy to actually talk to and interview. But because today is the first day I met him, I know nothing about him. Mm-hmm. I have no feeling about the guy. You know what I mean? So sure, in 3 or 4 episodes from now, when we're on this panel again, Troy and I will be like old best friends again. Kind of like James. James, I've never met you in person. We have a very good rapport. Same with Douglas. We've never actually met in person, but we've done so much. But it takes that momentum. There's so much to get that momentum going that we miss when you meet somebody in person and you can have that instant connection. Right. You can build that instant rapport, which makes for a better interview. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I say I'm growing a little tired of this style to watch podcasts. Yeah. That's why I like guys like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. Their show, that Two Bears One Cave, those guys, because they have people that are sitting in with them and they've never met them before. And yes, they're comedians, so that it's a little easier when it's a comedian doing it. But they're building that rapport immediately rather than taking 3 or 4 or 5 visits to get
Like
there.
if I'm ever able to interview Troy in person when he does the one-man act for the Jimmy Iovine biopic, that would probably be a better interview than.
I love that guy, by the way.
You love who?
Oh,
Jimmy
Iovine?
Yeah.
Doesn't he look at Troy? Troy can play Jimmy Iovine.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, somebody
don't
said
know
Stanley
this guy.
Tucci earlier, and I was like, okay, we can make him Stanley Tucci in the next one, too. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, my wife likes that part.
Yeah, I bet. Can you cook, Troy?
I can.
Actually, he can.
Perfect.
Troy one time thought he was going to save the world with water and baking soda. Remember that?
Oh yeah. That was what water and baking soda. It was baking soda, hemp, and soy.
Oh, no.
Baking
Just got a
soda,
little bit
hemp,
more.
and soy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Holy
there's a
shit.
story there.
That's-
I want to know.
Yeah.
There's a story
It's
there. I
like
wanna
liberal
know.
It's just
scale
a
right
theory.
off the chart.
It was just a theory on how to save the environment. With baking soda, hemp, and soy.
You lost me with the soy, but
Yeah, well, soy doesn't work. Soy doesn't fit in there. But
but you
baking
did
soda
you
and
used
hemp
baking
would
soda
save
to
the world.
wash your whole baking soda was your soap.
Yeah, baking
Yeah.
soda. It's everything. Shampoo, toothpaste. You can put it in a power washer, industrial cleaner. It's
Wow.
Great for velveting meat as well, by the way. Your
velveting
tender
meat,
Chinese
that's
food,
right, marinated
your
meat.
tender
Does
Chinese
everything.
food, chicken and
Toilet.
beef.
Oh,
Get rid of all
Sodium
detergents,
bicarbonate does that.
all industrial detergents.
wow.
Yeah.
And of course, hemp, just a big fan of hemp all around.
Gotta take some notes. This is good shit.
Did you know
Those
that
are
hemp
super-
is
those are
the
super-
only vegetable the full amino acid spectrum? Like it has all the amino acids. This is what I heard. Amino acids of meat.
Really?
Hemp protein, yeah. I think it's the only one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Clothing, everything.
Well, yeah, the clothing. And if you ever buy something that's made of hemp,
Oh,
it lasts forever.
Oh,
This
yeah.
shirt.
Can't kill it.
Yeah.
This shirt.
That's true.
Is that hemp?
Yeah.
You wearing
Yeah,
hemp?
I have a yellow one like this that I bought 22 years ago.
wow.
I finally made a hole in it.
But it's so soft too.
So soft. And I looked for another
about
one
the
like
Cheech
these,
Marin hat?
like this. I've had this one since 2017. It's 7 years old. You couldn't tell. Looks brand new.
Brilliant. Yeah, there you go.
What about the Cheech Marin hat? What's that made of?
That I don't know. I think probably just basic cotton.
Cotton poly blends?
Yeah, probably.
I like it,
You
though.
look like a log driver.
Right.
On this episode of Ice Road Truckers.
That or a hipster. You don't know these days.
That's true.
Actually, I have to roll it up like that because if I wear it the normal way, it just hangs so high.
Oh, you look like
Now it looks
the
like
guy
a
from
hemp
Fat
hat.
Albert. What was his name on Fat Albert?
Oh, yes.
Hey, but
I don't know. I think pretty sure that's racist.
Right.
probably.
Just kidding.
Everyone's
Sure.
a little bit
I did not
racist
learn any of
sometimes.
these boundaries. My wife and I were at the Value Village some while back in Vancouver, and she's off looking at the women's section, and I'm checking things out, and I find this hat. It's like this Chinese straw hat that a guy would wear in the rice fields. I put it on my head. And
Yeah.
across the store, I go, honey, do I look like a Chinaman?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I didn't even think. And she's across the room going, what the fuck?
I went into a Canadian Tire with Ryan maybe 2 months ago.
Mushmouth.
He found a hat that was like some Crocodile Dundee looking shit. And the next thing I knew, he's walking up and down the aisle holding Libman corn brooms and doing a full-blown accent and telling everybody about the Libman corn broom.
Crikeys.
I can't take him anywhere. He finds a hat, like garden centers. He'll come around the corner wearing like the biggest, floppiest, pinkest hat, and he'll just pushing the cart all fancy. Well, hello, and I'm like, all right. And he's massive, so everybody's looking, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, that one's mine.
I love you.
we got the government involved.
This is happening
She can't
on
leave.
public
It's
TV.
great.
Yeah, I have so many pictures of you in hats that just do not fit your head.
The Libman corn broom one was one of my favorites.
Libman.
And it was during Christmas, so Canadian Tire Christmas is packed.
Mhm.
And here I am with this floppy Aussie hat and the Libman corn broom giving a this David Cohn broom, he's the best broom. And yeah,
I wouldn't be able to
Dollar
keep up
store
the
party
accent.
hats. You name
I
it.
did have a weird experience though, and I was in Milwaukee a while back. And by the way, Milwaukee,
Schlemiel, Schlemazel.
listen,
Salt and Pepper Incorporated.
Milwaukee. I don't know what you've heard,
Our way.
but if you're like me, you probably thought it was like Cleveland Light when you hear the word Milwaukee. Just think of beer, gray skies, factories, right?
Douglas.
Wow.
Love it, Douglas.
I'm gonna wait for that to get off your head. to
Yeah, just
finish
let
my
that
story.
let settle for a second because I want to hear your story. But that's too good.
Oh, he's going into the tickle
Where's the
trunk.
mono? You need the
He's
monocle.
going into the tickle trunk for something else.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
it. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Okay, he's
he's
back.
He's back.
And we're
Okay,
back.
so Milwaukee. I'm staying in a hotel.
Milwaukee.
And I get up
Yeah.
early. I get up at like 5:30. So in Milwaukee, I was up at 4:30. I go downstairs at around, I don't know, 5:30 or something like that. I'm trying to get a coffee. There's one lady sitting in the like lobby area, black woman, and there's no one at the desk. And I wait at the desk for like 2-3 minutes, and all I hear is, "Ain't nobody here, sugar." And I turn around, and this lady is like, I work in the she was part of the kitchen staff. And anyways, long story short, there was nobody, no staffers at all in the hotel. They had all left. They were angry at the manager. There was no cleaning staff, no front desk,
Oh, wow.
nobody. So
A mutiny.
I worked the front desk from 6:15 until 7:30. I did.
I was preparing for a
I would
role.
totally. And so people would come up. They're like, "Hello, can I get a copy of my receipt, please?" And I'm like, "Can I get your room number?" They'd be like 316. Your name, first and last. Our computers are down right now, but I'm going to make sure that the person taking over my shift at 7:30 gets this, and we'll make sure you get your receipt. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. And I did that for like 10, 12 people or whatever. And then finally the manager comes in, and I'm behind the desk, and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, I think I've been able to help you over the last, and I explained to her what happened or whatever. And she's just like, "So you've been just sitting here working the front desk?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Here's all your messages." And she's like, "Holy shit. So these are legit messages?" I'm like, "All of those messages are completely legit. That
That's
guy
amazing.
wants his food, but an hour ago, so that's probably fucked. That one wants his And she was like, "This is crazy." And then the owner came up to me like the next day, and he's like, "Would you like a job?" And I'm like, "Fuck no. No one wants
Did
to
you
work
miss
here.
any-
They left your manager." It's like,
Did you miss any wake up calls?
no, I didn't miss any wake up calls.
See, that's the part of James that speaks to me. That's why I get along with James, because that is some shit that I would pull. And
Yeah.
it would be like, "Do you work here?" Like, "No, but I'm helping."
Yeah.
Like, I can't help myself.
That's right. That's right.
I take people to find shit in the grocery store all the time. They're like, "Can you help me?" And I'm like, I can't say no. So here we go. We're on an adventure together, new friend.
That's what makes life adventurous, doing shit like that. That's,
I
Yeah.
love talking to strangers.
yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
But
no
we're gonna wrap
danger
there,
here.
guys. Because it is it's time to wrap.
Well, where did Douglas go? I thought he was like going to do a costume change. We can't.
Yeah. Well, we're
As
wrapping.
your eager beaver.
We're wrapping now. There are people in this house that have to fall asleep by 10, so I want to make sure that I'm not. I'm at my mommy's, guys. Don't forget.
You respect your mother.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
But this was good.
Well, I can't wait till next time, James. And
Yeah, Troy, we'll have a call
was
tonight.
real
We'll have
pleasure.
when I get off. We'll have a call and I'll fill you in on all the stuff I won't talk about on there.
I like when James
I-
calls.
I like this.
Yeah.
This was a good podcast.
this
I
is
wasn't
fun.
sure where this was going to
fun.
go.
I'll come play with you guys anytime.
All right. Awesome.
Good.
Okay. I'm saying goodbye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Troy. Thank you.
You
Bye,
bet
Ryan.
you.
Take
Night,
care.
We'll see you
friend.
soon, guys.
Good night.
And there's Troy, and there, and I should I wait for? There's Douglas. Douglas, I didn't know you were gone. We're
Where did
gonna wrap
everybody
up.
go?
We're wrapping.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What are we wrapping to?
We're no, we're wrapping the show. My mommy has to go to sleep at 10, so I have to make sure I'm off the air. I can't believe this. I'm 47. It's amazing. Thank you for doing
on.
this. I think I'm
thank you
back
so
now.
much. Okay,
Mhm.
come back. I didn't get to say goodbye.
Yeah, they're gone.
The poker was gone, and I missed him again.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh.
You got the tickle. That's all you need. We will see you next week, hopefully, if you're around. Go ahead.
Just so you know, I've missed you.
Oh, thank you.
I've really missed you. I always enjoy doing this, and I missed your show. And like, I know you want to do something else, and that's fine. You know, you should explore everything. But I do miss you, and what you were doing was absolutely exceptional. I hope when you're everybody has their time for that thing. So I mean, if that's your time with it, and you've done all you can with it. That's good. But I hope that when you look back on it at some point, you're really, really proud of the work that you did, because that was some pretty amazing stuff.
I appreciate that. I didn't want to give. I didn't want to mislead anyone. I'm not only doing sciencey stuff. I'm still going to interview people. I'm just. I'm going to take my time with it. It is so much work to book guests.
It is
4 days a week.
It is.
So I don't want to get caught in that type of thing. So what I'm going to do is figure out a way to do half-hour shows just by myself when I can't book a guest. And so I'll do Casual Friday, I'll do a cult show, a science show, and a solo show. And maybe I'll just stick with those kind of episodes per week.
Mm-hmm.
I might not do another show until next week, Casual Friday. I have no idea. But right now I just wanted to get one under my belt and, and figure out if I'm still half decent at this shit. And I think, I like the idea that I have to get back to where I was, because then it just gives me something to shoot for.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. All right.
But in the meantime, oh shit, I don't even know if I have. I don't remember what I played as an outro. I played the old one, right? I did, didn't I? Well, let's go find the old one. There it is. All right. Douglas, thank you very much. I'd like to be a guest on your show one of these days. Hold on, I'm all
sure. Let's do it. Yeah, just tell me what your angle is, what you want to talk about, and let's do it.
Oh, there. Okay, good. Yeah, whatever.
Just give me an angle so I can prepare a little bit, and yeah.
Any type of politics you want to do, you tell me, and I'll just do that, so you don't have to adjust. Seriously, dude, if you just brought me on and just threw me questions, I'd probably just be fine with that. Whatever you want to do, no pressure.
All right,
buddy.
I'll try to think of something.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you again, and I'll see you on your show on Monday. Well, at least in the chats.
Monday. Oh, okay. Yes.
Every time you do a new show, I have a new porn name. It's my favorite. Hard Yards was my favorite one today.
Yards. Foxhole.
Yeah. All right, buddy. You have a good night. Thanks, Douglas.
Love you lots. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for coming in to watch.
Cheers. And thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. I appreciate that. This, again, is just, getting out of the gate after 3 months of absolute hell on earth, which I will never talk about on air, as per advice of my legal counsel. But I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next time on Blackballed.
Blackballed. Blackballed. Blackballed.